earth, you have vegetation, and then there are lights in the dome. One is a big light for day, and one is a smaller, not so powerful light for night in the dome. And then there are the stars. There are all sorts of lights up there. And God created every living creature that there is. And if you read the text, you'll see that it just has a long list of creatures. Crawly creatures, sea monsters, cattle, vegetation, trees, fruit trees, seeds, all of that. That presumably fills the void. The ordering comes from the sky and the lights and the earth. It all is put into order. That's at least what I thought that God was doing. And then God said, let us make humankind, or in the Hebrew it is Adam, but this is the human Adam, right? Broader. Let us make humankind in our, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness.
And there's the problem.
And there's the problem, right there. Now you can make a lot of decisions, and I grant you that one of those could have been Jesus, but anyway. I'm talking to you as wisdom, and I don't think Jesus was there, because that's not what I saw. It's not what I experienced. So, God created humankind in His image, in the image of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them, and God said, be fruitful and multiply. Now, who do you think was in that garden? Or wherever with God? It's us and our. Some people say it was all the angels around the king's throne. But I don't think that's biblical. So I'm going to read to you from Proverbs 8, 22 through 30. And I'm going to talk about myself. Wisdom. The Lord created me at the beginning of His work, the first of His acts long ago. Ages ago I was set up at the first, before the beginnings of the earth. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no springs abounding with water. Before the mountains had been shaped, before the hills, I was brought forth. And when He had not yet made earth and the fields, or the world's first bits of soil, when He established the heavens, I was there. When He made firm the skies above, when He established the fountains of the deep, when He assigned to the sea its limit, so that the waters may not transgress His command, then I was beside Him.
Who is I?
Wisdom. Translated in the Greek as Sophia.
Okay.
Which is feminine.
Feminine. And earth is also in the Hebrew a feminine noun. And God, I didn't read this, but I could get to it. God indicated along the way, let the earth bring forth this population. But anyway, earth and wisdom were both feminine. When He marked the foundations of the earth, then I was beside Him like a master worker, and I was His delight every day. Rejoicing before Him always. Rejoicing in His inhabited world and delighting in the human race. So I'm going to say that the entity who was with God, with us, creating male and female, was a feminine entity. And among other things, what was being created was the earth, which was feminine, according to Hebrews. And the first products came, the first production, whatever, came from the earth. It strikes me that the feminine is God said, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, for a comment on that, Bill.
Yeah.
Can you tell me which Proverbs that was? I'm sorry.
Yes, Proverbs 8, 22 through 30. Proverbs 8, 22 through 30. And Proverbs, that chapter of Proverbs, is all about wisdom and everything that she did. Or wisdom did. I'm trying to stop the pronouns. That wisdom did.
My interpretation of that is, we're not talking about an entity at all here. We're talking about wisdom in the sense that this is not a random act. This is a plan that God had to create all of creation. That's what the wisdom is to me. It's not an entity, male or female or anything else. It's a non-random act of God, a planned act of God to create.
Okay. And I would refer back to my video that I am not talking about an entity, which is supernatural, out there doing its thing. So entity is not a word in my vocabulary, and certainly not male and female.
It's just hard to talk about these things without getting mixed up with pronouns and all of that. But to go back to before there was earth, there was water. It talked about the void and the water. It strikes me that this is an evolutionary tale.
Well, certainly the earth is committed. The earth was given over to, all that stuff about dominion. And earth was to be fruitful and multiply. And earth was feminine. And so, in the Hebrew, I'm not talking about the cosmology. I'm talking about what the Bible indicates. Just in this limited way. And we all know it's a metaphor, and we all know that it's a different cosmology and so forth. But I just thought we ought to get it out there in contrast to our friend Augustine, who says that none of us can possibly control ourselves. And I am not denying evil either. For we have some evil and some sin. I do not think that it's propagated at the beginning. So just let me say this last little bit, and then I'll try to quit. I see in that wisdom and God were together, creating male and female, that there were 4 somethings together. Male, female, God, and wisdom. And I think they were all together. And I do not think that neither God nor wisdom thought that sex was bad. In fact, wisdom is delighting God every day. And that soothes my heart to know that God had a companion. If you want to get anthropomorphic about it, which again, I'm trying not to. But wisdom says, I delighted him every day. So we have this creation of male and female. Be fruitful and multiply, and I am not leaving. So I think that you can certainly make love with God present, put it that way. I don't think God disliked sex. And secondly, and this is my key piece, and then I'll quit. I think that it's this incredible notion for me. It's incredible that this can happen. We can make love. Now, think about that. We're contributing as the lovers to the beloved's life. We have the free will to do that. And there's a point in time when there's not a certain type, there's not love of a specific kind, of a specific event. And then we as human beings can make love, which in essence means that we add one small increment of love to God. Now, I'm going to talk some about what I think is involved in the making love thing, because I'm not just talking about what I call raw sex. Although that may be part of it, but it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that we, as human beings, animals too, but nevertheless, we can make love and add that increment of that love we just made to the beloved who also loves us. So we can add love. We can also add evil and bad things. But we can make love. I find that an incredible opportunity, privilege. Wisdom's gone. Well, I will say one other thing, because I need to set this out. I think that instead of sin going on in that Genesis 1 events, that there was ecstasy going on. Joy. Ecstasy is enraptured, elated, joyful, overjoyed, blissful, euphoric, rapturous, delighted, exultant. I think all that happened in that story. And I don't think God minded at all. In fact, I think God was being delighted, whatever that would mean in our cosmology. So I believe that story, the first, Genesis 1, is a story of the creation of ecstasy, joy, all those things that I just mentioned. And I think we can have that. And that's making love and adding it to God's being. But rather than original sin, I think ecstasy was created in the beginning. I'm not talking about the whole Bible, I'm not talking about the same story, I'm talking about in the beginning was created ecstasy. Now amen. I guess I can say amen twice. Sorry, I needed to get the ecstatic part out. Okay, I'm open.
I'm curious about something you said at the beginning.